That is not favorable too. But we'll leverage on this Hamatan season to dry stuff. Uh-huh. So I did laundry this morning and it didn't take long for the clothes to get dry. The sun and the Hamatan. But then, like the safety aspect is one, is also another season for you to be extra careful. The dry season comes with a lot of fire outbreaks and all that. So be very careful. If you have children, please, you owe it to them to teach them to not do certain things this season. And for those people who are crazy about fireworks, please, you may also need to be careful. Having said that, let us have conversations on the sunny side today. Something is happening to my systems. I think everything is freezing here. Okay, I think it's now responding. So we're going to talk about something centered around degrees. First class degrees. I mean, it's been raining first class degrees since last month. You go on the news and you just see a story of a first class degree holder. It never used to be this common in time past. In fact, if I'm going to be very honest with you, it seemed like some people were in the habit of withholding first class for their students. Before now, having a first class was pretty hard in some universities. Making a good 2-1 and narrowly missing a first class was pretty much common. So 4.459, 4.4, 4.3 something, 4.2, you made a 2-1. And you're like, aye! He remains small, oh. I would have made a first class. Now, rumors have it that some lecturers intentionally withheld that CGPA from deserving students out of jealousy because they themselves didn't make a first class. So you know how a student would have made an A. I don't know the grading system now, but during our time, from 70% up until 100% is classified A. If it was a 3 credit load unit or credit unit course, that's 3. You get A, you get 3. And then of course if you that's 3 points rather. If you scored from 60 to 69, that was a B. From 50 to 59, that was a C. Now when you check your result and you see that you scored 69 in that course, just 1 mark, and you would have gotten an A. You're like, which kind of lecturer be this? Like, what will it kill this lecturer to just add this 1 mark? Like, just 1 mark. Let this person get A. And the person gets a B. And you know how some of us students can be very, very, very sentimentally attached to our scores. It's enough reason to bring us down. I mean, it can weaken our morale, seeing that between B and A was just 1 mark, or the student scored 68. And then one lecturer teased one time when we were in class that somebody saw her score and came to him. He rather saw his score and came to him and said, "Sir, please now just add this 1 mark. Let me just get A." Say, where will I see the 1 mark from? Where will I find the 1 mark? Where? Show me. If you can show me where to see this 1 mark, I will find it and give it to you. That there's nowhere to bring out the 1 mark. And then the student left disappointed. Lately, almost every university is churning out a huge number of first-class graduates. What has really changed? Now, the 2 questions we'll be answering today. Does the current increased rate of graduates with first class indicate a significant improvement in our educational system? Some people consider these latest display or publications of first class graduates as a marketing strategy for the universities. Do you consider it to be true? We'll go on a break, and when we come back, conversation starts in full. Stay tuned to us.
It's natural to have different ideologies. We tend to see things from different perspectives. So, share your views on the sunny side as we make room for philosophical, ethical, and thought-provoking discussions. The Sunny Side, 12 noon to 3 p.m., Monday to Friday, on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back to the other side, the sunny side. So the other time we're talking about students who made first class and the reward system for first class graduates or intellectuals, as opposed to the reward system for those who participate in the showbiz shows or reality shows. And this week, we're focusing on that increase, all right, in the rate of first class graduates. Now, sometime in November this year, I think towards the end of November, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, frowned at, I don't know why they are frowning, right? Frowned at the increasing numbers of first class graduates churned out annually by private universities in the country. More like they were beginning to question these graduates from private universities with first class, if they were really doing the work, or if these universities were just giving them first class, more like dash. The national president, Professor Emmanuel Asodeke, raised the concern in an event organized by the body in honor of Professor Andy Egweyega's successful tenure as Vice Chancellor of Delta State University. And then he said, if public universities adopt the same practice without regulation, it could lead to the decline of genuine academic pursuits. According to him, primary and secondary schools nowadays are producing graduates with excellent grades with insufficient knowledge. So if I understand this argument, it could mean that does this first class, these first class degree holders, are they actually getting the required knowledge? So beyond the grades, can they reproduce? Can they be innovative? Do they have the basic knowledge of whatever courses it is that they have read? Now, the Rivers State University have disclosed that a total of 120 students will be awarded first-class degrees during its 36th convocation slated for this weekend. 120 students will graduate with a first class. Come to think of it, I don't want to start asking you whether you rate first class graduates or not, because if I'm going to be very honest with you, some people have their reservations, as it were. They wouldn't want to call it hating, but they would just want to I beg, because they are first class will not hear word and all of that. But think about it, really. Times have changed. And when you look at the increased rate of graduates with first class, do you think it's an indication that there is a significant improvement in our educational system? Is it that we have more qualified lecturers now? Is it that the educational system has become better, so much so that from the very beginning, from the child's first contact at an institution of learning up until they get to a higher institution, the teachers, the lecturers have been doing the job that is assigned to them? Does it also indicate that the basic, when it comes to basic education requirements and facilities, infrastructure, equipment, are made available? Does it also indicate that maybe we are moving We've moved from a time when we're not just thinking about the classroom. Everything is not just theory, but things have taken a different perspective, and people are the educational system is getting to a point where they are taking on more practical approaches to look at certain things. It's not just the X, the Y, the Z anymore. And then second question, some people consider these latest display of publications of first-class graduates as a marketing strategy, especially for the students and the parents. So the parents or the guardians that are seeing could say, if this school is churning out these number of graduates and these number of graduates are first-class students and second-class upper division and second-class lower division, it means that this school has what it takes to actually build my child in character and in learning. So for that reason, I should take my child to this university or that university. Do you also consider it a marketing strategy for the institutions? 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Once again, 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number remains 0809-030-6416 on X at Nigeria Info PH, and Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okonkwo from Umuokuta.
Okonkwo from Umuokuta, you're welcome.
Thank you. There are two ways in which somebody is measured to be a learned person from one university or the other. Number one is the theoretical aspect that has to do with teaching and giving of information. The second one is the practical. And the practical aspect is more dynamic than the theoretical aspect. Under this doubt, we have a NUC, Nigeria University Commission. It is the functionaries of this body that has the academic duty to take time to check this university, to really know whether the people they assume that they are first graduate or first class graduate, whether really they merited it or not. Because we cannot keep quiet for people to begin to pay millions of naira in order to obtain first class. But that can be done here. It is difficult by investing study for somebody to arrive at that first class position. And now we want to graduate about 100. So any UC should do her work. That is my contribution.
All right then. Thank you very much. Nigerian Info, good afternoon to you and welcome. So sorry we lost our call. Please do well to call back. Remember, we are live. Facebook page, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. And of course, on X at Nigeria Info PH. YouTube, Nigeria Info Port Harcourt. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Mr. Zion from Port Harcourt.
Mr. Zion, you're welcome.
Before the advent of the lockdown, we had this issue of first-class graduates, where there was this clamor to give them immediate employment. And when this discourse emanated, I stated somewhere that this ill fate to us, that we should watch, there's going to be an upsurge of first-class graduates. Some people thought I was just talking, but look at what is happening now. See the way first-class just dashing out like crayfish in the market. and look at the quality of this first class. They cannot even produce one thing. Not even a test or thesis, like they pronounce it here, that can be discussed and will last for 3 weeks. Not one. Because of money, that is why I see this first class everywhere. Few months, was it not last year thereabout? You had the one that happened in River State. That the school management said, no, they have to go back and write the exam again to prove that indeed they merited the first class. Did we get a result from that after that? The matter died down. Natural death here in River State. I know some of us have short memories, but not all of us. This way, I still remain Mr. Zion. And I stand to say this. If I'm to have a discourse with you, and you have not even going to the nitty-gritty of the discourse, to start by introducing yourself to me as a graduate for class and this, I will walk you off office immediately. I want to see graduates that solve our problems. Amidst all the first class, look at our refinery. It's under mediocrity. Look at our different parastatals, and we have first class. What is the essence of first class? Where you can solve a problem. So this idea of giving them immediate employment is even so ridiculous. You see, I'm saying here in Nigeria, because you have first class, we should give you job, and that is not so brain. The day you are employed or engaged into the civil service organization, that day you start to die, because there's no room for improvement. You are going to carry files up and down. At the end, they give you salary, you go home. First class in China and the rest, they are the ones that are part founders, going to Africa, going here, drawing information, giving them thesis. They are universities are studying, developing. Look at the phones you are using. Look at the gadgets you are using. All these are products of first class. If someone product from a first class in Nigeria, I, Mr. Zion, will stop talking in radio for 6 months.
Okay. The first class brains from other climes are producing. Some of the things that we use are made possible by these brains. But is everybody meant to produce something? They are writers. Some writers. They are poets. Some phenomenal poets. They are people that know the behind the scenes of so many things. They are very, very knowledgeable. They can expand knowledge. Give them a blackboard, give them writing materials, they will do wonders. They will impact knowledge. But their forte is not hinged around manufacturing. It's not hinged around producing the first smartphone, producing the first computer. See, they expand the knowledge that these people who later become the inventors leverage on. Everyone has where they excel, and it mustn't be around inventing stuff. So doesn't it count for something if someone excels academically, and not just excels, but excels well? Doesn't it show something? Doesn't it prove something? We celebrate the likes of Wei Shenka today. He has a Nobel Peace Prize. He's known for literature. He writes. So far, so good. Not many people will consider that an invention. But when you look at some of the great writers in this part of the world, you cannot but mention him. Shouldn't that count for something? I'm just saying, because everybody is literally hinged around technology, innovation, and inventions. Again, I asked, when you look at the current increased rates of graduates with first class, does it indicate that there is a significant improvement in our educational system? And it could be any kind of improvement. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Didi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. This is Mira from Okrika.
Mira from Okrika, you're welcome.
Look, Didi, I think some of these are all educate. What do I call them? I call them educationists or lecture. Let me just call them lecturers. Look, they really underestimate our teenagers. In fact, our young population. They underestimate how intelligent this generation, how intelligent they are. Did you know that if a medical doctor or a student that has a practical, and they have practical tomorrow, and then they know what they want to do today, or that same moment, they just go to Google and they view it, they watch it, they get every information. Unlike those days, you have to wait for the lecturer to tell you everything. In fact, you just use your own imagination. But now they see. They just go and see 2 or 3 times. So you cannot tell me that because in most government and universities, they do all they can to frustrate students. No matter how intelligent you are, they will make you seem as though you are so dumb. And lecturer will frustrate you because you cannot buy the textbook, but you can access the textbook and you can read it and you can pass very well. But he will fail you because he didn't buy his textbook. He will, because he did not stop. He will fail you. He doesn't care what you got. When I did a program, and then with one of these postgraduate programs. And do you know that the lecturer brought up my seat? They said I have to pay something. I said, why? She now said, okay, those bosses, you're going to do it. Let's bring down my seat now. We'll drive it fast. I said, madam, I did not even say bring it out because it's a challenge. It will be as if, hey. So I just said, I want you to break it out. She said, what's my name? I said, Lilian. She now checked. She now put it back. She did not show me. I said, let me see. She said, no. She just pouted. So they underestimate how intelligent this our young population are. So when they go to these private schools, they have access. In government schools, I think the computer is a problem. The students is just so clustered. A computer engineering student cannot even access this computer. Even if you do, because they shut it down and learn to just go one person and someone will go. Everything. The system frustrates our youth. But when they go out there, imagine when they go out of the country, you see how successful they become. You see how intelligent their intelligence just blows them. You see how they show themselves. So if this president or whoever it is doubting this first class, he has every right to go to the university and say, bring that thing. Bring everything. Everything you see that you know that has qualified this time to get better. Bring them. We want to see everything. Bring investigation. So maybe they are doing it for business purposes just to gain students or just to go. Nobody stops you. Go and find out. Because they do everything to frustrate students in this government, they believe that wherever we go, that's all we are. It's not unfortunate, did it?
Because they do everything to frustrate the students in the government schools. They feel that is how it is in the private universities. Is there anything they're gaining from the frustration? I'm just saying, doesn't it put a mark of excellence on your teaching, on your lecturing, when you can actually, as a department, churn out very, very intelligent graduates? No, I'm thinking logically here. So if my work is to frustrate you, and I know you deserve a first class, and I do everything within my power not to come to class to teach, and even when I show up to teach, I set questions that do not even go in line with whatever I have thought. And if at the point of marking, I am not even patient enough to read through what you have written to be sure that you're making sense or you're typing or writing nonsense, and I intentionally want to fail you, and then when the results are submitted to exams and records, the students that you lecture did poorly, does it tell good on you as the lecturer? Does it tell good on the department? As opposed to showing up in class, teaching, sharing course outline, recommending books to be read, going beyond and above for your students to actually excel, setting exams, going ahead to do the job of marking the scripts yourself and not saddling it with all those students that come to perch around you or postgraduate students, and then collating the results and seeing how much impact. I mean, what are exams for really? You know, sometimes they feel like it's solely to rate the student's knowledge. But how about using it to rate your quality of lecturing or quality of teaching? I mean, do these lecturers do appraisals for themselves as well? Now, Justice Iso on Facebook says it's not about the degrees, it's about getting a job that fits their standards. Blackson Alawari says the internet cannot be ruled out as it has created a pool for students and to get immeasurable volumes of data, materials, and text compared to the previous use of a single library and mostly a textbook recommended. May also not be available to buy by students or may be too expensive if it has a foreign author. Iba Eliazar Enejono says no. However, this does not mean that our children cannot make first-class grades. The increase is caused, among other things, by the corrupt tendencies of our lecturers. Many of the lecturers collect money for marks, while others go for sex for marks. Wisdom Ikinako says, in the case of RSU, I think it's as a result of creation of more faculties and departments. John Edet says, I'm very surprised in this development. During my time, it was even difficult to have a 2-1. Talk less of first class. During my graduation, I'm not sure we had up to 3 first class in the entire university. It is either the marking scheme have changed and become easier, or the quality of assessment is faulty. Golden Young says the raise in the number of first class to some extent tells good about the educational system, but in real terms, it doesn't. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? This is Sam calling from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Okay. Talking about the man who spoke, talking about asking why the class and taking about Nigeria. I believe that man is a lecturer, and he also understands what we do as lecturers.
Which man is a lecturer?
So, I think you said somebody. I think the president.
Asu was querying the number of first-class graduates from universities, private universities.
Okay, thank you for that. I think he understands the system of Nigeria education, and he understands the lecturers how they behave, because you wouldn't expect students to get first class when lecturers are frustrating these students. Now, imagine a school, I don't want to call your name here in Rivers State, in Port Harcourt. Let me be Uniport precisely. I think a particular department right now, those who are defending their project, they actually ask every one of them to pay 150,000 naira. For him to do these guys want to do their project. He said he doesn't care if they want to do it. He wants to do it for them and submit it for them.
Are you kidding me?
And what they are paying is 150,000. I don't want to call his name out because this is a public place. But this is real here in Port Harcourt. Now, imagine a lecturer who is telling a student whether you are doing it yourself or you are not doing it yourself, you must pay this amount. Are you helping the student or you are frustrating them? So they understand the system of school, that the system is being bought right now. So it's unbelievable. He knows that there is no way people in their right sense right now can make first class, because he understands that lecturers are frustrating the students. I don't know if you get my point right now.
Okay.
So the issue is not the students. The issue is that the system of education right now is really not possible for a child who reads his book to get first class, because the lecturers will frustrate you. They won't allow you to get.
Why are the lecturers frustrating people? Lecturers, why? Israel says no improvements in our educational system. Rather, there's an improvement in procuring degrees in hotel rooms. Again, have you noticed how doctorate degrees is dished out like Gary and Granot? It's like go and pick and come. Very unfortunate. Godwin from Alakaya says, concerning this matter, it has not changed at all in our educational system. Rather, it keeps getting worse by the day. And if you watch all these first-class degrees, just a title, and nothing has really changed in the educational sector at all. Because those who have carried first class, what impact have they made to the country or the world? Mention one thing, nothing. It's just to get first class and rest. You can't use your results to change the world. Is that result? Any result that can't affect the world positively is useless. In this country, educational system is just to get degree. Even the degree itself, some can't even defend it or do anything that will change the world. How many of those electrical engineers that took first class in Nigeria, they have not even solved the problem of anything concerning electricity in this country, but other parts of the world will produce first class graduates and solve problems. But in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. Yoyo Donatus Domale says, not at all. The Nigerian educational system isn't different from other aspects of our society. Corruption everywhere. James Ojonugwa. It's just a name, no improvement at all. Good afternoon, Didi. If 60% implies that a student got only 60 out of 100 single-weighted questions, then 60 is a poor score and should not be rated an A. A student should repeat a subject for which he or she could assimilate only half of what was taught. Eric Chooks send that in. The increase in the rate of first-class graduates, particularly in private universities, is a mix of marketing strategy and an indicator of the doubtless cognitive prowess of Nigerians. Don't equally forget that these crops of Nigerians equally record outstanding academic results when they train offshore. For the man who insists that graduates must solve problems, what remarkable problem has he solved in Nigeria since graduating from NDU? Problem solving in society is not the inclusive preserve of first-class university graduates or intellectuals. It is a collective responsibility of all and sundry. My name is Denise, by the way, not Constant. We are not questioning their intellectual quotients, but the government don't even have plans for them. Most of these first-class graduates are meant to go back to the university systems, research organizations, and standards/regulatory organizations to improve and innovate their systems. These are what is obtainable in developed countries like China. You mentioned Wale Soyinka. He may not have graduated with a first class, but then there were endowment grants that helped them to do research and improve parts of human knowledge and understanding of the world around us. Etoke from Farm Road, Umboba. No degree is useless. If a person works for and gets their first class, that in itself is a victory. They must not create anything spectacular for a stranger to be happy, for that degree to be useful. If it made the degree holder and their parents smile, that is enough. Anonymous, send that in. Didito, I agree to you academically. Didito, this year topic and takes me back to my days in Uniport. Who dash you first class? The least you could have is a 2-1, and that 2-1, lecturers will try to look through to be sure. Didito, the system this time now, now magic, black magic, that's what I call it. So would scratch some people back, and then whatever would happen. Didito, I'm Chigozie. I don't understand the last part. There are improvements in the educational system in the country, but it's obviously a marketing strategy. Why is it that now that several graduates are half-baked that we are having this? Several persons years back would have graduated with first-class honors. When I concluded my undergraduate program, I got a 2-1. Even the best graduating students got a 2-1. The university complained on a technical problem one of the semesters and altered our CGPAs. Mr. Mokie, send that in. I believe learning has significantly improved over the years. You know what? We'll go on the news break, and then I'll come back, read some of your messages, and we'll round off the conversation. It's the Sunny Side at 92.3 Nigerian FM, and we're still talking the increased rate of first-class graduates from our university. Stay tuned.
Real stories,